closings. An appointment is merely a stepping stone to a closing. And if the appointment's quality, it will close. And so that's the perfect segue. What is a quality appointment? A quality appointment, in our point of view, is somebody that you have discovered why they're moving. So you've discovered their true motivation, and you've simply discovered, does this person have the means or the resources available to them that make sense on paper, aka a mortgage calculator, to get what they want? That's it. Motivation and means. That's it. Keep it simple, stupid.
You're listening to the number one real estate podcast in the world, where we talk with real estate professionals all across North America about their wins, losses, lessons, stories, help you win in your local market today. My name is Cody from Sheridan Street. I'm joined with Vikram Deol of the Real Estate Sales Academy. Vic, what's up?
Yes.
You're in a hotel right now, just jamming in a hotel.
Yeah, that my Airbnb I didn't do a very good job of, and so I did not book it for long enough because I didn't know if I was going to get a visa. And so now that I got a visa, I called the Airbnb people up and I'm like, yo, I want to keep the place for September 1st to like March. And they're like, oh, it's already taken. So I was like, F you guys. I hate those people. And so now I have to move again in December to somewhere else, which I'm not looking forward to at all. But you know, what's good though, is the trial's off and running, and we are helping people with 3 live coaching sessions get the skills necessary to have real conversations. Because in this market, if you have a surface level conversation and people only say, like people ask me like, how did we sell $50 million a year back in the day before I retired? It was always just connection, right? Like, how did you sell Cutco knives? We just connected with people, right? It's like, Mrs. Jones, do you really want to have to replace your knives every year and have a bunch of dull, shitty knives? And, you know, like I'd paint the picture for them. I'd be like, you know, if you're anything like my mom, and I'd have my script in my lap because I was 17. I'm like, if you're anything like my mom, you probably have like 3 sets of knives from Costco that are all dull. They're all crappy. They're all junk. And they're like, I'm like, because like nobody buys good cutlery because it's just one of those things that's overlooked in a kitchen. And they loved it. And because it was so like non-salesy, because it was just a process that had worked for hundreds of millions of dollars in knife sales, people loved it. So, you know, that's what we're doing over here. What's good in your world, bro?
We're just rocking the trial, man, looking for more real estate team leads that have a database that want their leads called, because there's this delusion that's going around in the real estate space where real estate team leads think that real estate agents call leads. And it's funny. It's a funny delusion. Yeah. So, you know, we've been chatting with a bunch of team leads that have, you know, 60, 70, 100,000 leads in their database, and we're helping them do the outbound. Again, we do the free trial as well. We give you 3 appointments, right, show you exactly how the system works, and do the things that a lot of the ISAs that are fielding a lot of the inbound calls, right, just don't have time to do the outbound. So we take care. We kind of sit in the beginning process of like calling a lot of these aged leads. I know that you and I had this conversation. You handed us like 4,400 aged leads probably about a couple months ago, and last month you mentioned we sent one of your agents, Vic, like 11 live transfers last month. So yep. Yeah, man, it's we're rocking and rolling. And,
you know, and I think like if you guys, I don't know what number Brian's going to be on, but the challenge that agents have, like one of the biggest challenges that agents have is they don't know how to bucket their leads. So it's like, okay, you always want to go for the hot lead, but dude, one of this guy that worked with me for a few months, he quit and he like made a big stink. So I just said, you know, you're not a good fit, fucking go. And he's like, all I wanted, like, I just wanted you to teach me how to find the now buyers. And I was like, dude, when was the last time you called anybody in your, like, how many calls are you making a day? Well, I don't want to call anybody. Oh, so you just want to like magically show up and get like a diamond ring for saying you're a real estate agent? Get the out of here, dude. You are not a good fit for anybody except for a bank teller job where you're taking orders and depositing somebody else's hard-earned money because they don't want to do the work because it's hard. And here you guys go. Like, I love you agents. I love you realtors. I know why you don't make your calls. Want to know what it is, Cody?
What is it?
They don't know what to say. And because they don't know what to say, they sound like every other agent because they listen to the same garbage at the water cooler that the other agents are saying. So they ask the agents who are not busy, because busy agents don't talk at the water cooler. They're writing contracts. So they're running to the water cooler, grabbing their jug of water and going back. If agents spent more time just writing down questions to say, when a prospect says this, I say that. When a prospect says this, I ask that. When a prospect says this, I ask that, which I think we're going to probably dive into deep because Matt, on our guest, who you'll introduce, probably introduce him now.
Yeah, we have Matt McKenzie out of Denver, Colorado. Somebody that I've had the opportunity to jam with even prior to this podcast, and we jammed. Oh,
you cheated on me, Cody. You were cheating.
I'm
out. I'm leaving.
Peace out, bro. We had the opportunity, and even prior to in the green room, we were jamming about everything Alex Hermosi did in regards to his webinar, which essentially broke the internet. And somebody that is working inside of a real estate team, specifically around lead management. And I don't think we've ever had somebody on the podcast who specifically focuses on lead management and understands on such a depth of a level of what it actually takes in order to convert an online lead, what it takes to convert a sphere lead, what it takes to convert a referral lead, what it takes to convert just any lead. And I'm really excited today for us to really dive deep into lead management, into sales, into communication. Matt, my man, what is up?
Yo,
the RAJ podcast.
It's good.
Give us a 60-second cold notes version of how the heck you got into real estate, what you're doing right now, the team, what you're up to, and kind of like what your mission is in the real estate space.
Okay. Yeah. Elevator pitch here on how I got into real estate. So Jordan Terrell is our team's founder. I founded the team about 8 years ago. And how I got into real estate is I knew Jordan outside of real estate, and I wasn't getting hired after an internship that I had at a nonprofit organization. Jordan was my first phone call. I was like, hey, dude, here's what I'm good at. Who do you know that's hiring? He was like, me. I've got all these leads and I've got no time to follow up with them. And so I came into the office day one. Jordan started showing me the CRM, which was Follow Up Boss. We still use Follow Up Boss to this day. And Jordan was like, cool, so here's the CRM. And then his phone rang from a client and he had to go show homes. And, he was like, hey, I don't really expect a whole lot this week. Like, just kind of get into it and teach yourself as much as you can in the database. Here's all the knowledge-based videos. Bye, I got to go. He came back. I had 4 appointments set for him. And that was the end of our training. And that was when I got the job. So that's how I got into real estate, was actually by picking up the phone, dialing, and I bet I sounded like a salesy mofo. I'm sure I sounded terrible on those first 4 appointments, but nonetheless, I picked up the phone. Like, that's all I knew how to do. Pick up the phone, start having conversations. And that's, guys, that really, to get into it, conversion happens in conversations.
No, it doesn't. You're a liar.
I was, bro.
I wish you, Cody, you're cheating and coercing behind my back, and you're lying to my guests and my audience. I am done with this, Cody. I am done with the RE Agent podcast. Conversion happens in I've heard that before somewhere one time.
Oh yeah,
I've heard that before.
It's our mutual friend Sharon, we're with Real Brokerage. So Sharon's the president of Real Brokerage. We absolutely love him. Jordan and myself get to influence a lot of the things that the leadership team over at Real Brokerage does for agents. And I think it's a really, really powerful model what we're building. It's not the only gig in town, but it's been really great for us. So yeah, but that's how I got into real estate. But I'm just excited to be here, guys. Thanks for having me, and I'm excited to riff on lead management and lead conversion.
Yeah, I want to start with really understanding what it is that you guys are doing in order to convert. Like, maybe you can walk us through the numbers, just like, you say 45 agents, 5 ISAs, but what are you guys doing in order to maximize what you're currently doing? Because I think that there's so many team leads out there, and I want to speak specifically to team leads that they're spending money every single month. And it kind of sounds like that was happening with your team, where it's like, hey, we're spending $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month on leads, but our agents aren't converting. And I'm curious to know some benchmark metrics in your team that you're watching, because not a lot of even large teams don't have a U on their team. Like, this is very, very unique to have a lead manager on the team that understands also human psychology, because a lot of people, they just throw in an operator. And we see this working with teams where they have all these leads coming in and they're still scraping by, and they might have a 3% conversion rate on Zillow, or they might have a 6% conversion rate on Zillow. I'm curious to know, can you break down the pillars? Can you walk me through what you're doing in order to convert, and even to like walk us through some of the numbers that you guys are seeing?
On the ISA side of things, we simply break it down to 4 simple KPIs. An ISA must be doing all of these things on a daily basis. At least 250 outbound contact attempts, 25 conversations, or 2 quality appointments set per day. That's on the outbound production type of thing, outbound or inbound lead generation side of things. If they and the fourth one I'm getting to, and that's inbox 0. Email, text message, it all's got to be 0. Like, inbox must be 0 across the board. If an ISA can do all of those things, an ISA will make north of 100K every single year in our company. We built a model where, and I myself as an ISA last year made about 150 just off of production, which, by the way, I was using 20% of my time to produce, not 100. 80% of that was management. It goes down to...
Go ahead. Question?
Yeah.
And if you don't want to share, that's okay, because it could be, well, it's it could be proprietary. You said your ISAs are going to make north of 6 figures if they produce a 250. So 1, you guys have dialers for them. Yes.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. And 2, they have, you guys have.
What are you guys using for dialer, like on the front end for them?
Yeah. So Mojo and the follow-up boss dialer. So Mojo is a lot of the colder stuff or circle prospecting or expired stuff. But because we're so hands-on like the leads that we're nurturing, I don't want to put any of those on a dialer. It's like, hey, make a warm reach out, because at that point we've had that conversation enough with the lead, or we've had enough conversations with this lead. Now we can know them on a personal level. So we want to create and still have that personal one-on-one relationship. So, but yeah,
bro, you know what we used to do? Yeah, we did when we did Mojo expires, we were dialing 3 at once. But all of our like relationships, we would dial them individually, but it was still in the dialer, so that because what I found with our agents, it's like the minute they had to dial something manually, it's amazing how much diarrhea somebody has in one day that didn't have diarrhea.
Man,
they came in. The minute, what'd you eat this morning? Nothing? Did you drink coffee? No. Bro, why are you going to run to the bathroom every time you hang up the phone call? So we always had them on some sort of a dialer. And I have the same thing. Dude, I have so much diarrhea when I'm prospecting. It's amazing.
Yeah, man.
If I have a dialer, I have no diarrhea. It's so funny. What do you pay? What do you pay your guys as ISAs, if you're willing to share that? Is it hourly?
Yeah. So they get a base salary every month, and then they get a percentage of the deal when it closes. On
what percent?
Set 5% on the deal.
And what's your average sales price?
$615,000.
Okay, so that's a nice chunk of change. Like 5%, that's really nice. And then can I just go a little bit more granular for the team leads out there? And you guys, and the reason I'm saying this, you guys, because I was telling my team I was telling some of my clients yesterday, I was like, if you guys hate selling real estate, but you are really good at setting expireds, you can charge a 35% referral fee, even 40%. 100%. And agents will fucking pay that. And if you're in like a 300,000, dude, I did the math, right? Watch this. My average sales price was 1.2 million when I got out of real estate in 2018. That's now gone to 1.6 to 1.8. If you become really good at calling expireds and you charge a 35% real estate commission, real estate referral, and you got an agent out there that can crush 50, 60%. And if you guys want my listing, like I literally just made a Loom training video that I'll just send. It's in I'll throw it in the bottom, dude. I'll give it to you for free. And if you guys can do that, right? Like let's take a $45,000 commission. Let's make it I don't know. My math is horrible, but let's say 45,000. What's 30% of 45,000?
I didn't graduate from college, so I'm
I have an MBA, so it's still shitty, but it's about 14.5. So if you sell $350,000 homes and you're getting a 2 to 2.5% commission, and you got to do all the work, that's $8,000 to $10,000. If you just get really damn good at calling expireds throughout the country and you become really good at referring this to other people, you're going to make 14.5 if you go into a higher priced market. You guys don't even have to leave your houses, y'all. Like, there's so much opportunity if you're good at what you do, So 5%. And then real quick, if you guys, if I have an ISA, set me an appointment, they get 5%. Does your agent pay for that? Or do you guys already have that calculated into the split for the agent?
So we operate on a partnership basis with all of our agents at the end of the day, and the agent will split that fee with the company.
Okay.
Got it.
Makes sense.
So so that gives us clarity on the ISA. So the ISA, they have key benchmark. So before we go to the agent, what if somebody is not doing 2 appointments a day? And what do you deem as a qualified appointment? Walk me through that.
That's a great question. Great question. So, and real quick, there's one more pay structure that we didn't go over. So if the ISA closes between I think it's 2.5 million and 5.5 million of volume, they get a bonus at the end of the month. So we're rewarding on closed deals. Most companies, and this is a lesson that we really learned the hard way, guys. This probably cost us over $200,000 in revenue easily, maybe even more. But we used to pay on appointments set.
I knew you were gonna say that, bro.
And it's bad. It's bad news because guess what? You don't want appointments out of your ISA department. You want closings. An appointment is merely a stepping stone to a closing. And if the appointment's quality, it will close. And so that's the perfect segue. What is a quality appointment? That's a great question. A quality appointment, in our point of view, is somebody that you have discovered why they're moving. So you've discovered their true motivation, and you've simply discovered, does this person have the means or the resources available to them that make sense on paper, aka a mortgage calculator, to get what they want? That's it. Motivation and means. That's it. Keep it simple, stupid.
But okay,
I kind of want to go down this track some more, Cody.
Yeah,
I think we should go down the appointment setting track some more.
We're gonna go down this because I want to dive into this quality appointment because I have so many agents. Yeah, because I run an ISA company, so I have so many agents that just they. How do you identify on the phone whether the person has the means and whether they have the motivation in order to?
I love it. Pull the script out.
Yeah, because the reason I'm asking this question is because there's so many people out there, there's so many agents out there that because they suck on the phone, they don't know how to. You listen back to the call and you're like, bro, I would have this person had means and they had motivation. You just didn't know what to say. And how are you guys tracking your ISAs before we go to agents? Because I think for the most part
I don't think we should go to agents at all today.
Yeah, I think for the most part we can
appointment setting.
Yep. Because I think, and the reason I'm saying this because for the vast majority of teen leads, I think they need to understand that the agents do not call their leads and the agents suck at calling. So let's stay on ISAs and appointment setting. How do you identify a quality appointment?
Yeah. So, the whole motivation and that means, how do we go and discover that on the phone? Well, I liken it, guys, to you're going to go make a new friend. That's really what I tell my ISAs. Your job is to make friends all day long, literally on the phone or on text message or on DM. And how do you make a new friend? You got to connect with that person. So it starts with connecting with them, finding some sort of common ground. Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'll be your prospect.
Cool.
And, you got your script up?
Yeah, I'm just calling you.
Yeah.
Cool.
What lead source, Cody? I'll be the prospect. Cody, you tell us the lead source.
It's a Facebook lead. It's a Facebook lead.
Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect. Cool. All right. Ring.
Hello,
Vic?
Yeah. Who's this?
Hey, Vic. It's Matt McKenzie. Hey, I'm not sure if now's the right time. Not sure if you can help me out, but if you got 20 seconds, I can tell you why I gave you a call today.
Time's ticking, brother.
Yeah, man. Real quick, because I got to run too. I just saw we started sending you homes for sale in the Denver area, and I was kind of curious if you were just looking for fun or maybe thinking about making a change at some point.
We're not in a huge rush, obviously. Like if something pops up that we like, we'll definitely pick it up. We're not in a major rush at all, bro.
Okay, yeah, so not in a major rush at all. Vic, I guess just so I could see things from your perspective here.
Yeah.
What has you been thinking about making a change if the right house were to come up?
We just want more space.
Okay, some more space. And tell me a little bit more about that, Vic. What does more space mean to you guys?
Oh, like an extra bedroom and maybe an office.
Okay. Gotcha. So an extra bedroom and an extra office. So what's the reason you want an extra bedroom and an office?
Oh, we stayed in this house a couple years too long. We were expecting to move out of here when the second kid came, and lo and behold, we forgot about how the goalie system. We have a third kid now, and the wife is back at job, but she's working from home. So like 3 kids, a dog. There's a lot of chaos in the house, and she doesn't have a place to put all her stuff. And then, the kids are bunking up, but now we got a 3-year-old, a 6-year-old, and an 8-year-old. And the 2 younger ones are boys, so they're fine in a room, but the older one is starting to, become a girl and do girly things. And she own space and her own bathroom. And, we just think now could be a possible good time. But I mean, we're not in a rush, bro, because the rates are high and prices are high and all that craziness.
Yeah, I totally understand. You're not in a rush. So, Vic, how long have you been feeling like it just might be time to make a change?
We've been chatting about it since the third one came up. We probably should have bought in like 2020 when we were pregnant, or she was pregnant.
Gotcha.
But we stalled thinking that the market was going to cool off. But Big Denver's insane, right? So like about a year, maybe 6 months.
Okay. So about a year. And do you guys like where you live currently?
Oh, yeah, man. Excuse me. I was drinking some water. We love our house. It's great. It's just too small.
Okay. Well, so it sounds like it's not a horrible situation you live in,
No.
But if I guess if you could change a few things, what would you change?
Yeah, we really if we can afford it, we're at a 3, we'd love to get a 5 in an office with the, we're on like postage stamp lot. We'd love to get like a double wide and let the kids play outside, right? Like a little bit of running room. But we're really like, if we could stay in this neighborhood and stay in the school district where the kids are at and find the same bed with the office, or even if we could convert like some garage space and put like a some kind of like heat source in there, just get rid of the garage base, because I don't need my car in the garage. Then she would have enough space. She wouldn't have any windows and feel like prison all over again for her. But she didn't mind prison, but that would be ideal.
Okay. And I guess what's the main reason, Vic, that you might be looking to do something sooner versus just staying where you're at currently?
I mean, like I said, man, we're not in a rush. We don't want to make a bad purchasing decision. Like we're at a 3%, 3.5% rate. So like, we don't want to jump into anything, but I guess if we could get something that, allowed us to spread our wings and let the kids be home. I guess the other thing that my wife's been talking a lot about lately, now that you make me think about this, is that because she works from home, we don't have a lot of space. So we don't have the kids' friends come over as much as we used to.
Oh,
kids are going to other people's houses, and I don't know like if they're watching politics. I don't know like the stuff that's going to the other homes, and I want to be more in control of like our environment so that it keeps it pure and clean. Like really being into like Joe Dispenza and meditation and self-development.
Okay.
And I want the kids to be at our house learning this stuff versus being at the friend's house, maybe learning some other crap. So that's a big factor for us. Like the kids are really emotional at this age. So that's a big thing for us. Like we want to control the narrative a lot more for our family.
And Vic, if you don't mind me asking, like, what are you currently doing to better that situation?
Nothing, bro. I mean, honestly, dude, like we've talked to a couple agents, but they're all like, you need to buy a house. It's a great time to buy. And I'm like, it's 7% interest rates. I don't know what crack pipe you got from the corner homeless person, but like it's not like 2012 when we bought our house where interest rates were super low.
Mm-hmm. I definitely understand where you're coming from. In fact, I don't necessarily like the approach that most other agents take. Just between you and me, Vic, I think it's super salesy and it's So if I'm hearing you right, it sounds like the main reason why you might be looking to make a change is because you want to raise your kids in the way that you feel like is the right way for them to grow up, and your current situation isn't allowing you to the opportunity to do that.
It's so like, it's so scary with the world the way it is, like what house they're going to, like, we interview the parents. It's like, I never would have thought like my parents' parenting skills were going to come back and haunt, but now I see why they were so careful about all of it. It's so important.
Yeah. I get it. And
so, hey, let's just pause there, bro, because Cody, can we just break this down here? So if you guys notice, he never asked any questions that were salesy. He never asked like, hey, when are you looking to buy or sell, right? When are you? And this is exactly what I teach inside of the Real Estate Sales Academy. It's what Cody teaches his ISAs to do. That's why he's booking so many appointments with age leads. But what you did right there, Matt, was you took him through a process where it started out really surface level, and then it slowly just built up. And you guys, he didn't have to ask me like, how many kids do you have? I shared all this rapport building stuff naturally. And when you get to the bottom, it's so much easier to have that conversation about money and finances. Like, all right, man, like, so I guess like, help me better understand. So, if we were to find a house that fit your budget, I guess like, help me out here. What were you thinking your budget might be? Like, what were you thinking? And you break it down step by step. And there's a gap and there's a solution. And Matt just inserted himself into the process. And it's never a sales conversation. It's a, can I help you conversation?
Correct. 100%. And we break it down, and I can share this framework for free. I'll send it to you guys, and feel free to send it out to everyone.
Already got it, brother.
There you go. You know it. You got it. You got it.
Send it our way, though. Send it our way. We'll share it.
At the end of the day, it's a lot easier, like you said, to get into the finances when I've built this rapport and this trust with Vic here and I've really gotten to the bottom of the why. And now guess what, guys? When Vic is saying no in his mind to moving, he's not saying no to a new house. He's saying no to the ability to raise his kids in the way that he wants to raise them. That's a lot harder of a thing to say no to. So people don't move, and people do not move because they want a new house. People move because there's something underneath it.
So what's interesting thing about this entire conversation is like, the first question you didn't ask was, are you pre-approved?
Oh God.
Well, it's because like, and I love sales conversations. I love sales IQ, intelligence, right? Like, I love human psychology. I didn't realize that being my mom's psychiatrist as a young child was going to pay off dividends in sales, because it's about listening to what the prospect isn't saying. Like, I was in an influence training 2 years ago. I tried to get Cody to one of the events with me, and it's about listening, because if you know the questions, right? Like I said earlier, write the questions down, because if you know, like, they're never going to follow a script. Like, they don't have the script, you guys. And so if you have like 4 or 5 different frameworks to write that you've written and learned, then when they go off, like Jordan Belfort talks about the straight line formula. Well, when they go off to what he calls Mars, you can bring them back because you understand where to take them by asking them the question. The other thing, you guys, and we work on this a lot because this is really, really challenging, is, did you guys hear his tone? Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, so wait, when you say you're not able to raise your kids the way that you want to, and I know the next question because we speak the same language. It's like, is that having like an impact on you and your wife? Yeah, it is. How so? Like that concerned tone.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm curious, because like you're so good in a role play environment, obviously you've practiced a lot. What I'm really curious about with the ISAs, and we do this with our ISAs where we're consistently listening to conversations that they're having with the leads on the phone prior to the transfer to make sure we're constantly checking that they're following the script, they're asking the right questions. Like, what does that process for you guys with your ISAs look like? And are you watching what they're saying? And like, how are you tracking what the agents are saying? Because like your ISA, for example, could build a crazy amount of great rapport with the prospect and get them to the appointment. And then they get to the agent and the agent bombs. Like, how are you guys navigating the handoff from the appointment, like listening to what the agent is saying? Then the agent, maybe the ISA has a really great relationship and they hand them off to the actual agent and the agent bombs the meeting. Like, how are you guys handling that?
Yeah, that's honestly the biggest struggle and the biggest pain point is to have ISAs and agents working together in tandem to serve clients like this, guys. But the couple of key lessons that we've really learned that we didn't do well in the beginning, frankly, when we started the department. And so I'd rather talk about what we didn't do well because I've effed this up a lot. A lot of what we did in the beginning was the ISA set the appointment and the agent would show up to the appointment and the lead would no show.
Right.
Any guesses why? Well, there's no freaking trust or rapport built between the agent and the lead.
The handoff at the end wasn't done properly. So when the person saw Matt's call, but then they saw Cody's name on the appointment, they didn't know who Cody was because you guys didn't do a warm intro. So they're like, well, I don't know who the fuck this person is.
I'm not showing up either. I wouldn't do that either.
Personally,
as a lead. So
because the psychology, and dude, we spent a lot of days on this one in our team. The psychology behind that was I'm not good at, like, people don't realize that that's a process. Like, you talk to the secretary, then the nurse, then the doctor, and then the doctor prescribes back to the nurse to the front desk. They understand that process, but in real estate, they don't know that because everybody who's bought a house prior to 15 years ago bought from the agent who did all the work. They don't understand the team concept.
Yep. So now what the handoff looks like is a simple 3-way text message, a group text between the agent and the lead. And our agents, we have a standard, which, by the way, this is something else team leaders need to hear. Standards without consequences are just suggestions. Do you want to suggest that people follow up with their leads? Do you want to suggest that people hit their daily KPIs? Do you want to suggest that people answer their text messages and emails and phone calls? No, that's a standard. You're in a sales base. You're in a sales business. You got to do these things. So what is that? We have consequences for when standards aren't hit. So let's say,
do you guys beat your ISAs and employees and your team members? I would love that
legally. Because here's the awful thing about leadership, Vic, and maybe the good thing. If your employees or your team leads are not doing it, it's because you haven't taught them well enough. So the blame is on you. The blame is on us, not them. Not 100% of the blame, at least. So we have one of our core values on our team is be a boss. So just own your crap, man. Like, if the department screws up, like,
when you're
a leader. So
when you're and that's beautiful. When you're doing your guys's, so when your ISA books the appointment, like when they're firming it up at the end, it's like, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to book you in with XY. I'm going to book you in with Cody. He's actually our lead buyer. He's one of our lead buyer agents. He's actually specializes in homes in your neighborhood. So I'm the person who does all the dirty work and I have to do all the calls. Cody's the badass. It's the negotiator, gonna find you the off-market property, blah, 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 blah. I can't remember what we used to say with our ISAs because it's been 7 years, but is that kind of like the handoff? Is it something?
Very much talking up the agents and the ISA to agent game, guys, is a matchmaking game. Like, there's a bit of a science to appointment rotations and stuff, but at the end of the day, you got to play matchmaker. So
are your ISAs in? Sorry, Cody.
No. So yeah, we'll get to that. I'm going to ask that question. are your ISAs in-house, and what do you guys consider a good show rate from ISA appointment set to the actual lead showing? Because
I feel like Matt's show rate's going to be so stupidly high because they build such a good connection and they eat their faces up.
And I agree, but like
ridiculously high.
I think it's still going to be around 50%. But I'm curious what you have to say.
I think it's going to be 67%.
So this month it's 62.3.
We're close.
But here's the deal, guys. Here's the one, and here's something else team leaders need to know, because we learned this the hard way. Appointments where there's a conversation between the agent and the lead after the ISA handoff. The show rate goes up 5x if there is a conversation between the lead and the agent. Just a quick like, hey Vic, Matt just introduced us. I'm really looking forward to meeting you and your wife on Friday to help you accomplish X, Y, and Z, whatever they said their motivation was. So now it looks like we're on the same page. That's literally how we train our agents. Just call, have a conversation, introduce yourself, talk about some of the next steps, talk about why you're excited to meet them on Friday, and guess what? The day of, offer to bring somebody coffee. It is a very, 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 very simple thing.
It's so funny. It's so...
I got that. Hold on.
Bro. I literally just recorded a video and it literally just went out today around that. Like, are you a latte or are you a drip coffee kind of person? Sorting question. Boom. Hey, I'll have it ready for you at X, Y time.
So let me share two things that, so what the guy that worked, my top agent name was Justin, and he was all about relationships. Like, he's a high I on the disc profile. I'm a high D. The two of us together make a great person, but individually he's super unmotivated because he just wants to talk to people. And me, I'm like, yo, relationships. Let's just go sell houses. Like, that's all we do. Like, let's go. So he really tamed me down. I was all about efficiency because I didn't want them to have a conversation, because what would happen is if they're a high I, is that they would get into a deep conversation. Even though we trade every morning, they would tend to go a little deep. And then the person would be like, oh, well, you have all my information. I guess we don't really need to meet up. And I'm like, you got to do belly to belly, baby. Like, and this, like, Redfin is killing us otherwise. Like, the people go to the house and write an offer with the Redfin agent. And so what I taught him to do, and he didn't care. He just listened to whatever I said, because he went from 3 years at zero to the first year with me. He sold 6 figures in commission. So he's like, whatever Vic says, I'm going to do. He would send a video. So the ISA would introduce us, right? They would do the intro. They would do the warm handoff. Everything was good. And then he would just send a video from the office and be like, hey, Jarrell it looks like Jarrell and you guys had a great conversation about looking at homes in the Kirkland area. I'm Justin. I just wanted you to have a face to the name. I'll see you Thursday at 2:01. We always did a funny number. I'll see you Thursday at 2:01. Here's our address again. I'm going to just text that to you so you got it. And then we used, because Sharon was like, yo, you got to have a booking system. So we'd send him a calendar invite immediately with our address. Mm-hmm. And then he'd be like, can you just verify that you got the appointment and click the appointment yes, so that it's on my calendar too? And they're like, okay, click. And it would instantly show up. And we didn't do bomb. Like, we didn't do any of the gimmicks. It was just a quick 30-second text. And that's our show rate from, I don't have the numbers, but it was like, it wasn't horrible. It was like 40, 45 to the 60, 65, almost 70%, which means we didn't have to work harder and we didn't have to sit there with dead air time, because 7 out of our 10 appointments showed, or 6 out of our 10 appointments showed.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we have to wrap up here. We have somebody else already in the waiting room. I know. And I wish we could. I know. Yeah, me too. Especially like the ISA conversation to me is so fascinating because of the fact that like we sit like one step before the in-house ISA. I think where we really shine it like as a company is like you have your in-house ISAs and we do the mass styling. Yeah, we crush the mass styling. So what I'm like with like, I want you to close out with this and then you can tell people specifically where to reach you. But Matt, because you work so closely with the team lead, what is one piece of advice that you would give to a team lead that is looking to scale out an ISA division? Because there is so much opportunity with ISAs and so many team leads that have like 6-7 agents could easily double their income just by simply implementing these systems. And I think where a lot of team leads struggle is with the in-house ISA department is they don't track the metrics quite closely enough. But the other thing is like they see a 63% show rate, or they see a 40% show rate, and they're like, well, this isn't working. You know, one of two meetings we're booking in person. This is stupid. Let's just scrap it all. What advice would you have to a team lead that wants to grow, that is considering building a ISA division inside of their business?
That's great. So it's very simply, guys, the right people in the right seats allows an organization to move towards its perceived goal. The right people in the right seats allows an organization to move forward towards its perceived goal and actually attain it. And what I mean by that is it's all in your hiring process. Because of the amount of leads most teams are generating and the dollars that are left on the table year after year after year, it's a big problem. Like, a lot of people don't track lost inventory in their business. We do. And so you need to track that. But it's also really, really, really important who you hire as your ISA. The reason why, frankly, it worked for me and Jordan is Jordan left and I just went and made it happen. And it probably didn't sound pretty, probably didn't look pretty, but I just went and made it happen. So you need an ISA is this weird conundrum of a person. It's the hardest role to hire for in real estate.
Do you guys disc pro? I know we're going a tangent here.
Yeah.
But do you disc profile?
We do disc profile, but it's all about the in-person interview. And our first in-person interview is a 60-minute FBI interrogation. I'm serious.
I believe it.
Like, it's because we have to know what makes this person tick. Like, they have to be and I said, is this weird, driven, self-motivated person, and this like organized freak.
Can you? Do you have? I don't even want to ask you for this, but I have to because it's gold. Do you have a process that you could share that we could throw into the show notes on the hiring process you do for ISAs?
Okay.
Do you have like specific questions that you could flip us that we could throw in the show notes?
Yep.
I love it, brother.
100%.
Hey, where can people find you? Like,
so the best place to find me is between 11 and noon, 11 a.m. and noon on Tuesdays. I run this training called Basecamp for lead conversion for our entire organization, and that's open to the public. So I'll send Cody and Vic a link. You can hop on there, and literally we're going to cover everything from like expireds and digging into that conversation, and for sale by owners and PPC leads. And this past week, I taught how to go find 5 clients from your sphere right now. Literally taught the whole framework, and we're going to go over stuff like that every single week. And that's free training that's open to the public. If you want to connect with me further, we can get into that, but that's probably the best place for people to find me. So I'll literally just send you a Zoom link so you can click on that and log in. So.
Perfect.
Brother, this was a ton of fun. I really appreciate you sharing the goods, talking about, the benchmarks, like specifically the numbers that so many team leads I speak with are not tracking, that literally they could double their income if they just started tracking the numbers. So I just want to say thank you for sharing that so openly.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, thanks again. And thank you for tuning into another episode of the RH Podcast. We'll see you soon.